Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I feel so insanely bad with this heat and this, but we've got to get moving with this. And, you know, I don't even normally, I'm like going to sit here and script and prepare what exactly I'm going to be able to say for a feature. And every time I see our feature this evening, Mr. Dan Cleary, I'm always going to resort to music because I love to hear him sing, but he's also a great poet and I love hearing his words. And I hope each and every one of you loves hearing his words as well as potentially hearing him sing. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our feature this evening, Mr. Daniel Cleary.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out on such a hot evening. You know, it's wonderful that you're here.
It's wonderful that you're here.
Yeah. I'm going to try, can everybody hear me?
Mm-hmm. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to try and do it without a mic, if that's okay. I'm going to open with a song, okay? And I'll finish with a song. So this is one of the great American songs. And now the purple dusk of twilight time steals across the meadows of my heart. High up in the sky, the little stars climb, always reminding me that we're apart. You wander down the lane and far away, leaving me a song that will not die. Is now stardust of yesterday, the music of the years gone by. Sometimes I wonder how I stand alone the nights dreaming of a song whose melody haunts my reverie until I'm once again with you. When our love was new and each kiss an inspiration, but that was long ago, and now my consolation is in the stardust of a song. Beside the garden wall, a moon was bright, you were in my arms. The nightingale sang love's fairy tale of paradise where roses bloom. But I dreamed in vain, for our love, it surely will remain my stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain. All right, this is the poem from a book I'm working on. It's called Rumination. Possibly, as they say, beyond this place, we will find out that there's a better world. But as for now, for better or for worse, like it or lump it, this is what we've got. One that's imperfect, fallen, if you wish, but every now and then made glorious by some inspired conjunction of events, or by the slow unfolding over time of what we cannot help but partly see, the finished pattern when the whole thing's done. So be it. Given life is what it is, a sometimes rabid, brutal, short affair, if we can lift our eyes up, sally forth in hope of glory somewhere down the way, or if not there, then somewhere further on, we're not doing badly. What is there to do but hope and build up for a future time where if things are no better, they're no worse than what they were or what they always were. At least we hope we'll still have just the same. I may not know much, but one thing I know, that life is always changing. Who can tell what tomorrow or the next hour may bring? Avenues open up at every turn if we can perceive them. Look at Mozart, with music always at his fingertips. Can you imagine waking up as Mozart? Though we may not possess his ardent spirit, when we partake of his abundant gift, why should it be any different for us? And so, my friend, even on cloudy days, when there is little to look forward to, try not to be discouraged. Get your pen and simply doodle, idle on the page. If there is nothing much that comes to mind, you yet may do what I am doing now, having begun at a desultory pace. Find an old can and kick it down the road, as you did once on your way home from school. You may find in the end that that's enough. This is called adventure. Adventure is a word that stirs me yet, just as it did back when I was a boy. And I would think about it sometimes, let my imagination wander with the sky, watching the clouds unrolling overhead, dreaming of other lands. Poets inspired me too. With Stevenson, I dipped my bread in the river like a true wayfarer. Today, however, staying close to home, adventure means a very different thing. It's more internal, no longer born to roam. I simply wait for life itself to bring its own adventure. As I watch each day unfolding in the most surprising ways, I try to keep alive the spirit of play and keep the moment ever in my gaze. You know, as I get older, I begin to think a lot about the other world and you know, the impermanence of life. This is called, as we're in a bar, it's called From a Barroom Stove. Is there a place where all's set right, each fall from grace, each foul mishap, each disappointment, every slight we might have suffered, every rap upon the knuckles dealt at school, where discipline was once the rule? Is there a place where, as they say, the high made low, the rough made smooth? All error will be cast away, and we will rest in timeless truth, where right is not usurped by wrong, the weak made subject to the strong. If so then, let me please stay here and take the better with the worst, where I at least can have a beer and without rancor cool my thirst. Perfection's very fine and good, but I prefer this neighborhood. Perhaps you'll say my sight falls short, and that I can know the full accord, or apprehend the boundless worth of heaven or its holy word, where spirits dance in endless bliss. Let me just say, I still like this protracted sojourn where I am, imperfect though it all may be. I still prefer plain bread and jam to all that glorious ecstasy. The breaking of another day will always make me shout, hooray! As for the rest, let's hope in time we grow more thoughtful here below, acknowledging the church bells chime, grow more considerate, although the basic fact that life's unfair, as we well know, is always there. So let's see. I'll try to liven it up a little bit. Actually, I don't have too many positive
The tortured poet.
Anyway, here's
All
one
your
called,
love poems.
here's one called Kalamazoo, okay? I must set out for Kalamazoo. Must set out right away. Must set out without more ado, if possible, today. Lately, it seems, a weight of hours has bound me hand and foot, has robbed me of my native powers, and ran off with the loot. Nothing excites me anymore. I need a new expanse to wander in, to help restore my old dreams of romance. I need a whole new change of scene, a whole new point of view, a whole new life, if I would glean the lore of Kalamazoo. A place I heard forthrightly named today by accident, that spoke of frontiers untamed, where only brave souls went, to prove that romance was not dead, but flourished even yet in some far corner, crimson red, its flower forever set. To prove that there was yet a place set far beyond my ken, where I might find abiding grace, murmur a sweet amen. All right, and how much time do I have?
Well, you know, technically we're supposed to have 5 minutes left.
Oh, go ahead, nobody's even here.
So she says do as long as you like.
Okay.
Awesome.
This is called Into the Mist. This is probably autobiographical. Our threadbare poet, these songs all sung, into the mist has stolen away, with faltering steps, no longer young. He said all that he's had to say. These songs are scattered to the winds, where they await their final hour. Like airborne seeds, they seek to find a fertile soil in which to plant. The songs he's known for most of all, for erstwhile products of his youth. We hearkened to the rise and fall of words that had the ring of truth. We hearkened to the inner voice, their softer cadence, high and low, that bid our spirits to rejoice. They moved with such a natural flow. They seemed to prove the simple forms he always loved were valid still. Even the critics up in arms had to admit the subtle thrill he somehow managed to convey with ordinary verb and noun. He wove a verbal alchemy that might have led to more renown had not the culture grown so slack. It had no ear to hearken to words that spoke of loss and heartbreak, yet spoke of love and laughter too. Loneliness was his special theme. It clung to everything he wrote, in spite of light, like a sunbeam that issued from his golden throat. It even sunk into the mesh, the pattern of his Harris tweed. It penetrated to his flesh so that he wore it like a need. His later songs grew chill and strange and took him even further out to territory beyond the range the public chose to care about. They spoke of things of which to tell would make your very blood run cold, would sit you down to rest a spell and catch your breath if all were told. They spoke of things the like of which will not be heard of soon again, of things well out beyond the reach of the general run of men. Ignored, neglected in the end, we find him here all set to go, braving the dark without a friend. He turns and makes a final vow. And I've got a couple of, I just want to do a couple of love poems here.
Just a couple.
And I write actually anyway, here's one. It's called Cabaret. Lady, I see as evening falls your shade, tripping the light fantastic in the gloom, as if you danced alone in a ballroom, and more an old admirer to a parade. Faintly I hear the music that is played, and hear you whisper softly to me, come. Cast off that heavy frown, that look of doom, and then you vanish in the deepening parade. Why does your apparition call to me at this late date, bidding me forth again, as if to slay the dragon, set you free, endure once more the rapture and the pain. It's not as if it's how it used to be when we were young, had all the world to gain. Okay, I'll finish with a song now. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So baby, hush now, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, and you'll spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With mommy and daddy standing by.
Please get up one more time. Lane stepfather. Awesome. Thank you so very much. I know, it's like, how long can I clap? That was phenomenal. That was great. And thank you all for dealing with this heat and coming out here. I have to tell you, in 2 weeks, on July 18th, we've got Lucia Blinn as our feature, and she's actually a really great performance artist. She comes up with music, and she's always an awesome show, so I'd really recommend coming. If, for any reason, you can't make the next show, or if you want to see things from past shows, you can always get a podcast, because we've got weekly podcasts, because the mic might be one, but also our features. If you go to chaoticarts.org, let me say that in English, chaoticarts.org/The Cafe. You can find out info on that. You can get it on your iPod, and you can get it anywhere, so you can have a weekly podcast. So you can get that Lucia Blinn podcast if you can't make it. I also have to say that Shirley Newman felt really bad that he wasn't able to make it to this tonight because he had family things going on and kids and grandkids coming. He's like, I can't make it. I'd really like to see Dan Cleary. But if you want to see Shirley Newman, he's actually coming in a month on August 1st. Shirley Newman's a feature here on the 1st. On the 15th, we've got Robin Fine. On August 29th, we've got Bob Lawrence. I could just start naming on and on and on. If you want to know anything about a schedule, you can also check out chaoticarts.org/The Cafe, and there's a whole schedule there, all the way through the end of the year. You know, I'm saying so much stuff and I can't even catch my breath. I want to thank each and every one of you. I hope to see you in 2 weeks, and thank you so much.